Hi there, good morning. It's Miss Northam, and I wanted to go over your Unit 4, Week 3 learning path. This week, we're going to focus on cross sections and surface area. So I want to just remind you that we are in our third week of geometry, so we are over halfway through. We'll be having our summative in just a couple of weeks. So just make sure that you are going back and reviewing assignments, looking at any mistakes that you've made, bringing those questions that you still have to our virtual classes, and really getting ready for that summative test that's coming up. All right, I'm going to start by clicking in resources. I'm going to go to our Unit 4, Week 3 overview. The very first things that you'll see is our virtual class times for the week. Those will be on Tuesday and Thursday. One thing to point out is that this is a short week. We have a school holiday on Friday. So your work will be due by the end of the day, Thursday. So I just wanted to point that out. Also, if you are joining our class, which I hope all of you will be, there are notes here that we're going to be going over as I'm teaching lessons on cross sections and surface area this week. I really recommend you attending these classes. Geometry is just really difficult to really get, sometimes it can just be difficult, but it's also difficult to see on a computer. So I think that me interacting live with you and really looking at some shapes and some digital tools that I have will really help you to understand these geometry units a little bit better. So I really recommend that you make every effort to attend. I've given you a suggested pacing to help you with the week. You'll notice that I have the classes already built in like I always do. And then on Friday, even though it's a school holiday, some of you are behind on work. So I just thought it might be nice to dedicate Friday as a makeup day for anybody that is needing to complete assignments from previous weeks. Okay. So that is your overview. And here are your learning targets. We're going to be finding area of composite figures. So that's two-dimensional composite figure area. Then we're going to be looking at surface area of three-dimensional figures. We're going to be learning how to name and identify three-dimensional figures. And then we're going to be determining cross sections of three-dimensional figures. Okay, so I'm in your learning path on, again, surface area and cross sections. I'm going to start with step 1. And step 1 is going to be looking at area of two-dimensional figures. You'll notice that to get started this week, on a lot of the pages that you'll have there are some vocabulary terms, some equations that you're going to need to make sure that you remember. So this is a good reference sheet for you. You can write down these equations. You could print the picture if you wanted to, or you can just copy it into your notes. You'll refer back to that throughout. Here is a video lesson on finding area of composite figures, and then you'll need to go to Delta Math and complete the assignment titled Area of 2D Shapes. So again, you have to leave It's Learning, go to Delta Math, and complete that assignment. I had a lot of people overlook that last week, so make sure that you're following directions carefully. In step 2, you will learn about surface area of three-dimensional figures. The very first video is one I made that is going over naming three-dimensional figures, so that will be important as we look at surface area, and then next week volume. So make sure you're paying attention to that. Here's a little funny video to get you thinking about surface area. It always makes students laugh, but it will also help you to remember, again, as we're looking at surface area and then comparing it to volume next week. So you do not need to take notes on that particular video. And then here are some videos that go over actually calculating surface area in some good examples of rectangular prisms, triangular prisms, and then one I made on calculating surface area of a shape such as an octagonal prism. Then we're going to look at calculating surface area of pyramids. And so here is an example of a square pyramid calculation and a hexagonal pyramid calculation, and then a pentagonal pyramid calculation. So again, treat these as if you are being taught in the classroom. You'll want to pause it. You can draw the figures. You can take notes on the equations. There's a lot of videos here, but they are actually going over and teaching you how to solve these types of problems. In step 3, you will actually get to do some practice on your own with surface area based on what you learned in the video lessons from step 2. So you're going to go to Pearson Online. So again, you have to leave It's Learning. You're going to go to Pearson Online and complete the playlist titled Surface Area. Make sure you submit each task so that it will show that your playlist is completed, and then also use that question help button as you're needing assistance along the way. In step 4 of your learning path, we're going to move into cross sections. So this is another just video that gives you an introduction to what cross sections are. It's kind of a fun video created by students. You don't need to take notes on this one, but it is a good one to watch just to give you some background on cross sections. And then you're going to go to Pearson Online again and complete the playlist titled Cross Sections. Within it is your entire lesson. So there will be some videos, some examples, and practice opportunities. Make sure that you're doing all of them along the way. Make sure that you submit each step, and then, complete it and submit it at the end as you finish. Make sure that you're taking notes, listening carefully, and using the practice to check your understanding as you go along. All right, in our next step, you will have a practice, kind of a checkpoint for you. It's just 10 questions that you can take it more than once. The next step that we'll go to in your learning path is definitely more challenging. So make sure as you're doing this 10 question practice that you understand it. Again, you can take it more than once just to really make sure that you have mastered this before moving on. And then you finally have a Unit 4 Week 3 checkpoint. You're going to go to Pearson Online, and this is assigned to you. It is 2 lesson quizzes merged together to one, so it will be 10 questions. Make sure that you are really reading the questions carefully, okay? Making sure that you are using pencil paper to solve, really keeping your work organized. These surface area problems specifically are multiple steps, and it really requires you to keep your work organized this week as you're solving these example problems and practicing along the way, and then that will help you to be more successful on this checkpoint at the end. Okay, take your time, read the questions carefully, and again, make sure that you're doing all work on paper to help you to be more successful as you're submitting this online quiz. Okay. As I mentioned previously, there's just a page to remind you about any makeup work. You were supposed to do Assessment 9 last week, but if you did not, here's a reminder of how to log on and do that. Looking at any previous work, you can go back to Learning Path 1, Learning Path 2. You can still work on those if you've not submitted them. You can still let me know that you have. Remember, you have until your summative test to get that work done if it's late, okay? I like you to do it within the time frame allowed, but again, I don't accept it after your summative. So you need to be making sure that you're going back and completing any work if it was missing, and then just send me a message in It's Learning and I will update your scores. And then a final reminder, just to be working on that exponent learning path that is your 8th grade standards. For those of you who are wanting to move to Algebra 1, that is required for you to do. For those of you who are interested in accelerated, that is also something that you will need to be able to prove that you have mastered before being considered for accelerated next year. Okay. All right, if you have any questions, message me. I hope to see you at our virtual classes on Tuesday and Thursday this week. Have a great day. Bye.